After making headlines earlier this year with their Project Sunrise announcement, Australian carrier Qantas has just announced it will resume flying to New York from June of 2023. Qantas will fly from Sydney to New York with a stopover in Auckland from June 14, 2023. Initially, the Flying Kangaroo will operate flights to New York 3 days a week, using Boeing 787 Dreamliner aircraft. For Qantas, this will mark a return to New York after a 3-year COVID-induced hiatus. While Sydney to Auckland will take around 3 hours, the Auckland-New York leg will take around 16 hours for the Dreamliner northbound and about 17.5 hours southbound, which will see it covering a distance of approximately 7,600 nautical miles, potentially putting it in the top 15 longest flights in the world by distance covered. Qantas Group CEO Alan Joyce said, "We're back flying to most of our pre-COVID destinations, which is a fantastic achievement by our teams, and so important for Australians reconnecting with the rest of the world. We can't wait to return to New York, and it's made possible by the delivery of new aircraft, which have been caught up in delays that have impacted lots of airlines." Joyce was referring to the temporary stoppage in deliveries of the Boeing 787, which has dented network expansion plans of several airlines, including Qantas. Boeing had to stop deliveries of the Dreamliner in late 2020 owing to quality issues, and has just resumed customer deliveries of the aircraft from earlier this month. Qantas is scheduled to receive 3 Dreamliners from next year, which will help it operate this route. Previously, Qantas used Los Angeles as a stopover point for its New York service. However, the airline was not allowed to sell seats on the Los Angeles to New York leg. With the change to Auckland, Qantas can sell seats on both legs of the flight, which potentially opens up a wider market for the airline. However, Qantas will be competing with neighbour, Air New Zealand, which plans to start direct, non-stop flights between Auckland and New York from September 17, 2022. The New Zealander will also operate a thrice-weekly service using the Boeing Dreamliner. Both airlines combined will ensure there are 6 weekly departures from Auckland to New York, as Qantas will fly on Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, while Air New Zealand will operate on Monday, Thursday and Saturday. While the Air New Zealand flight numbers are NZ1 and NZ2, Qantas has chosen to go with QF3 and QF4 for its flights. By the way, if you are liking this video so far, do consider subscribing to the channel, as it will certainly help us growing our audience even further. Now back to Qantas. Switching over from Los Angeles to Auckland should give Qantas more opportunities, as the airline connects multiple Australian cities from the New Zealand capital. Air New Zealand should also benefit, as it too serves plenty of Australian destinations, which should well cater to travellers seeking to explore Australia and New Zealand together. Qantas has already announced that it will serve New York as part of its Project Sunrise, using the Airbus A350, which are due to enter service in 2025. Project Sunrise will offer a non-stop flight between Sydney and New York and would serve customers who wouldn't mind paying a premium to save on time. The one stop via Auckland would cater to passengers who don't wish to spend upwards of 20 hours in an aircraft, or those on a budget who wouldn't mind a lengthier, albeit cheaper routing. COVID-19 saw severe travel restrictions to Australia and New Zealand, which in turn reduced capacity to these countries. With travel slowly catching up, Qantas is also gearing up to modernize its fleet of aging Airbus A330 aircraft. Earlier this month, Qantas said it would look at replacing the A330 with an aircraft from either Boeing or Airbus. The airline said it would make the plane makers compete for the order, which should be announced in 12 to 18 months from now. Which aircraft do you think Qantas would ultimately choose to replace its A330 fleet? And as for the New York route, which airline would you like to fly between these cities? Let us know in the comments below, and if you liked this video, do consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching.